Okay, we're on. Welcome, Unity of Pflugerville, Spiritual Center, and Center of Positive Prayer. I like that. That's always fun. The talk today is on relax. Just relax. It is so funny how that just gets forgotten about. Just relaxing. Now, a few weeks ago, I was wondering what the topic was going to be for the talk today, and you know, I was at my writing table and chilling out, and nothing was coming, and I thought, oh man, come on, and then, you know, it just came across, relax, take a chill pill, you know. So I did. I just relaxed a minute, and then my hand reached over and it wrote relax, and then it just started writing, and I thought, okay, we're off and running, and it was just like that, a moment to relax, just the moment. So relaxing and finding our peace just go almost hand in hand. It is truly one step in front of the other. It's a great thing to have. And it's one of our tools that we forget about all the time. At least I do. So, I wrote a few things down, and of course, with the writing, it's almost like I'm surprised as much as what's being written, you know, because it's supposed to be coming from me, but it's not coming from me. It's coming from somewhere else. So, it says, have you ever had to tell yourself to relax? Well, I hope everybody's nodding, you know, because I certainly do. Have you ever had to give yourself a pep talk? Well, yeah. You know, have you ever noticed that your reactions are not on par with the best side of yourself? That happens to me. When I get caught up into all of the stuff that life has to offer us all the time. And so it's almost like I need a reminder to just chill out. So getting caught up in the hustle and bustle of life is a big diversion to our inner peace. And for me, diversions are, I can number the diversions for me. And I've written down just a few. What might be our biggest diversions? Number one would be time. Time takes over our life like nobody's business. It's in almost everything we do. It regulates almost everything. Number two, bills. Bills. Yeah. So, you know, I mean, number three, family. Yeah, especially for Koehler family. I'm sorry, Mom. I didn't mean it like that. But number four, modern employment. For me, my job has a lot to do with stress and keeping me away from the peace. Number five, our own expectations hold us away from our own peace. And number six, taxes. Taxes, yes, for sure. And then number seven, which this one can't be understated, life.
Yeah.
For me, you know, it never seems to stop. It just keeps coming. And so through my own expectations and through my job, through all the things that I go through, life helps with it pulling me away from the peace. Taking a moment to relax, to me, is like the first step of pulling away from the diversions. So, in relaxation, it has always been one of the first things we do when we want to meditate. You know, one of the first things we do is we settle down, we start to relax, and then we feel like we're getting to where we want to be. First stage of meditation is relaxing. And relaxation could be kind of considered like a mini camp of meditation, right? This is just a little mini camp meditation. It's a lot faster than meditation, if you're lucky. And then, but that's not to say don't cheat on meditation. Don't just get in and relax and figure you got it all worked out. Let's not ever cheat meditation. I want to interject a few things into my talk from what Valerie talked about last week. When Valerie was having her talk, I was amazed at how hers and mine were
intertwined.
Thank you. That's the best word. I thought of another word on the way over, but I think intertwined is perfect because our greatest desire is to return to our true selves. That's one thing. I had my highlighter. I had all kinds highlighted through here. It was just amazing to me. But that's one of them. Anytime we pull away from our awareness and connection to the divine, I think we are pulled off balance and are at risk of losing our harmony with ourselves and with others. That's so much intertwined with relaxation. You know, we are truly pulled away from our own peace when we don't take that moment to relax, to get ourselves back down to neutral, to me. And, you know, I'm not, I can only speak about the things that have really helped me out. So, step by step, and we all do it, and when we're trying to be the best person that we can be, we all run through the steps of sidestepping, one place or another, but this one helped keep me on a little more on course. And one of the things that we were talking about was the things that throughout the week. Some of the things that happened with Valerie helped her put together her talk, and some of the things that I was going through helped me put together my talk. So for them to be so intertwined, I mean, you're getting it from two people that are sitting there going, yeah, it's happening all the time. So, but you know, the blessings to stepping back, relaxing is pretty amazing. Your levels go down. You know, number one, your heart rate goes down. Just chilling out. You know. And then your blood pressure goes down because your heart rate's going down. Right? And then the very next thing, which is one of the best things for me, is my emotional attachment goes down. And when the emotional attachment goes down, the ego goes down. And that's a big one, you know, because a lot of what we're put up to is because of our own expectations, and ego's right in the middle of the mix. Right there. Just no doubt about it. Ego's sitting there going, yeah, that's me. Settle down, you know. So the emotional attachment, for me, is when it starts separating, I mean, I can feel everything starting to get into alignment. When I get that wild one out of there, then everything starts getting down where it needs to be. And then the shoulders start relaxing, and you just start going into the very next stage of a meditation. But sometimes you don't need to do that. Sometimes you don't need you don't have that kind of time. We all would love to be able to have, you know, a 15 or 20 minute mini meditation going on. You know, that's just fantastic. 4 or 5 times a day would be great. 6 would be even better. But we don't always have the time for that. So this relaxation kind of takes the place of that. And when I feel like I do it right, you know, my whole demeanor changes in a matter of 10 seconds. For me, just getting down to that relaxation point for 10 seconds can change how I react to different things. And it has helped me in the last 2 weeks. We've had some out of the ordinary things happen at what I do. And so it was having to pull back, chill out, and then come back into it with almost a brand new mindset. And it's amazing what happens when you can do that. When you can just set that off over here, chill out, and then all of a sudden it's like you're open to something different, and something else comes into you. Something else comes into your mind. Might not be exactly another idea, but the emotional attachment's gone. So it doesn't require you're Italian. It doesn't require you're Italian to be in there, you know? So you kind of let that off a little bit. At the same time, there are other things that rise. If we have our levels going down, we have other levels that rise. Your internal awareness arises. And some of that is when you feel your shoulders relax. You can hear your heartbeat. You can hear it slow down. I mean, that's really cool. Yeah. You know, whenever I get it down, I go, oh yeah, there we go. That'll do. And then you become more aware of the sounds all around you. Now for me, this is a big one because it's not always directly what's in your face that you're facing. It's all of the energies and everything else that's around you. What are you focusing on? And mostly, it's everyday life situations right at you. When I can be inside my little office and I can hear the birds outside, or I can hear the crickets, I mean, then I'm really tuned in. And I don't hear those on the everyday stuff. You know, it's not there for me, but when I can get down, that's when I become aware. And that's when I know I'm in the right place, right time. That there is a caveat to this awareness. The caveat is, have we identified with the sound that Mother Nature makes, Mother Earth? Have we heard that hum? Right? Now that is peace, all in itself, all in one package. To hear it, identify with it. When you get past the Mother Nature sounds and you can get into that tone, it doesn't take long at all. And you are almost right there in the middle of that meditation, right there. Within that 10-second period, you are almost at the point that you can be when you strive for meditation. It's awesome. And when, I listen to 10 seconds of that, and I feel a smile coming on my face. I don't have anything to do with it. The smile just comes on my face. And I'm going, yeah. You know, now I can go back to whatever the rat race throws at me, and I'm a different person. And that for me really goes a long way in how I react and how I know I'm more on purpose with who I really am. There's something else in here that Valerie had. So how do we begin to change our thoughts? First, we are self-aware when our thoughts are not supporting our well-being. Next, we make choices on how to shift our thinking. That's what relaxing is all about. That starts the mind shift right there. And I probably shouldn't do all this. Plagiarize for
You're fine.
but it was
Because it's all coming from there.
it was awesome. I really liked your talk last week. So back to mine. Okay, so 10 seconds. So in that 10 seconds, my world changes. And that is for me, what helps me to become more of the person that I know that I can be, not the person that I acquire and that I hone every day. But life has this interesting way of bringing some of that out in you every day. And in fact, I even wrote that down. Let's see here. Where does it say that? It says, I have to remember it. From the moment we wake up to the very moment we think about relaxing, we are being bombarded with our everyday life and the situations that we put ourselves in. And if we're the person that likes to hang on to things and bring the stuff in from last week or yesterday or the day before and we just let it pile on, sometimes it feels like we are pack mules of our own baggage. And it happens all the time. It's like, oh man, leave me alone. Go away. But sometimes our lives in our own development, I would guess to say that maybe we find comfort in our own baggage. And bummer. It would be nice to just kind of keep leaving that aside, and the more that we get into that relaxing moment, the more we can finally say, thank you, but no thanks. And meditation for me has been one of the things that really has helped change my life from the minute I decided I was going to take it on seriously. Meditation. That's a number one thing for my spiritual growth, was to be able to get in there and then understand that God and I really are one. Or at least we're a team. You know, at least. So to me that was always pretty cool. But the thing that I found, and I just recently came upon this relaxation thing when this topic came up, and I started using it. So for the last 2.5 weeks, I've been using it, and I am in love with it. And I don't know if you can be in love with relaxation, but I am in love with it. It is fantastic. So, you know, some of the times, even while things have been a little crazy at my house, as y'all all know, I've got family and all kinds of things going on. And so, and then of course the stuff at work, you know, and I'm not saying anything that y'all haven't heard or that you haven't had to deal with yourself. So, but what's been cool is that I've been able to sit down and take that chill pill, feel all this stuff happen, and go, no big deal. And just get in there and handle it from this side. Not from this side, but from more of this side. And that crazy person that Valerie had to deal with on the road, and she said, boy, he must have been having a bad day. Well, anyway, you handle things a whole lot differently when you're a little more detached from the ego. So what is the percentage of peace in your everyday life? That's something that we can work on. And it's as simple as the 10 seconds that we're talking about in the relaxation. Because it gets better and better, and faster and faster. So it's really cool. And then the tool is there. I mean, you can draw like a gun. But I don't know if we can do that. But it's really neat. You know, it's like somebody comes in there and their whole purpose for coming in my office is to get me going. And I'm going to say, wait a minute. Chill. Remember to chill. Okay. I had something else. Oh, yeah. This is a cute. Wayne Dyer related to or referred to relaxing in his book, When You Believe It, You'll See It. I don't know if any of you have read it or what. I had it on tape and I just love it. And he has a story about a story at a traffic light. So let's say you're at the traffic light and it's time for relaxation. Just take the moment. You know, his was a little more leaning toward meditation, right? But go ahead and take the moment, shut your eyes, start to chill out. And he said, you don't ever have to worry about if the light changes because the one behind you So I always loved that one. That one was so cool. Having a personal side and a personal connection to our own meditations meditations don't have to be formal. They don't have to be so formal. You know, if we can take that moment, these little mini camp of meditation, take that moment of relaxation, then it makes you feel like you're a little more at home. And you don't have to make time for it. You can just shut down right there at any given minute, especially when somebody's talking about something way too long. You know, shut down, get to that chill pill place, and then wake back up. He's still talking? Okay, so that's it from what I have prepared, but I do have a note here that says sharing comments. Let's have some shared comments. What would you like to do?
Well, I just love this. I find it really interesting when you think about your brain, because your brain's job is to solve problems. It's this wonderful, masterful computer, right? And I love how it does such a good job of reminding you of things that need to be done, and oh, don't forget about this. But you really, you know, when you talked about bringing your baggage along, you know, it amazes me how you have to be your soul's purpose. I think one of your soul's purposes is to help ego to figure out what comes along and what's helpful. What is this information helpful, or is this information not helpful? I don't even really need it. Like, you really have to be the programmer. You have to program your brain. You can't let your ego program your brain. You gotta be in charge. And so it just hit me. Relaxing gives you that moment where you are able to disconnect. You don't have to do anything in that moment. It's really interesting. We took a photography retreat, and the photographer said one of his greatest life lessons is about noticing. Like, when you're a photographer, you're always, like, if we're into birding, so we're always looking for birds. He's like, if you're only looking for birds, what are you missing? Like be aware. When you talked about being aware and being in that space, it just gives you like what's going to come for you, what information is going to come that you need that your brain wasn't aware of. And so I love this. This is timely, and like, wow, how many times a day could we do this whenever we feel like we're getting hooked or our brain's in charge?
Yes, ma'am.
Well, my family and friends have diagnosed me as ADHD. I haven't been by a doctor, psychologist, neurologist. Haven't been formally diagnosed. But I was a hyper child, and I've slowed down a little bit since then. But I could use this relaxation thing in my life. I could really use that 10 seconds in my life. When Reverend Robert was here, in the first 5 sermons or lessons that I heard when I started coming here, he mentioned meditation. I went, okay, I'm supposed to get it. To be told 5 times I'm supposed to meditate. And I haven't. God bless you, Reverend Robert. But I can do a little bit of slowing down and deep breathing and taking start with a few seconds and then a few minutes to relax, because I really need that in my life right now. So thank you very much.
Absolutely. Who else would like to? Yes, ma'am.
I think too, maybe we need to get to a point in life where we're willing to give ourselves permission to stop and do exactly what you're saying, Randy. I think about like so many people have reported that during his lifetime, Charles Fillmore himself is just walking around the village doing his whatever, and he just stopped right in the middle of a sentence. Oh, excuse me, just a minute. The Father is calling, and away he goes for a while, and then he's back, But just think of who he was and the responsibility he had and everything that was on his mind. And he was so tuned in, probably through his own meditation time, that he could hear just or feel or sense or something, just that tiny little bit. And he gave himself permission. Okay, let's stop right here and get this done. What a life that must have been.
Some of our really learned people that we have read about and we've heard about, their connection, they spent hours in meditation. I mean, our Pope spends how many hours a day in meditation? They call it prayer, but it's meditation.
Right.
He's not doing a whole lot of talking. He's just in the peace with the divine, and we're getting channeled. So, to me, that's, I've always, like I said, I've been a believer in meditation because of what it had done for me. Well, I know for a fact, I know for a fact that all of them meditate, right? Who knows? But it really helped me. So, who else? Larry.
So, Akita, one of the principles you work with is called weight under side. So you just let all your weight just sink down. And that's the process of relaxation.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's a very physical feeling of your weight being sinking into the earth.
And a lot of it is we don't even know we're doing it. We don't even know we're piling all this stuff on ourselves. Piling it until we've had about enough and we blow our tops.
Yeah.
So, to just sit there and go, oh, this time, the Father's calling.
That was good.
Take that moment. I think it's awesome. Mr. Messenger,
Yeah, that's my dad.
Tommy,
There we go.
what's your word on it?
Well, I enjoy this group. I learn every week with different speakers. There's nobody here that doesn't have the knowledge that they don't mind sharing,
Yeah.
which helps everybody. Makes me a better person, makes you a better person. You know, there's been developments here, relationships throughout this whole congregation we've been together for a long time. You know, 20, 30 years. And we're always open to have new people come and join us.
Yeah. We are a very open group and inviting. We're gonna have a nice church right there. Just like that. Anybody else? Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.